Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot make this up. New York City socialist mayor Zoran Mamdani just announced his big shiny free 2K pilot program where they're starting with 2,000 free childcare seats for 2-year-olds in the fall. Everywhere across New York City except for one borough, Staten Island. Yeah, that's right. The so-called universal program left out an entire borough. And those New Yorkers are absolutely fuming. I mean, I guess in order to make everything free, somebody's got to be left out. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the video. And to stay locked in with future content, subscribe to the channel and turn on all those notification bells. Let's get right into it.
Staten Island has long been known as the forgotten borough, and some parents say it certainly feels that way again after Mayor Mamdani announced the rollout of the city's first step toward making childcare universal in the city.
That plan, at least this coming fall, does not include Staten Island. News 4's Charles Watson joins us live with what parents are saying. Charles?
Yeah, Gilma and Adam, we've been talking to parents all day who say they believe the city's free universal daycare program for 2-year-olds would certainly help parents who struggle with the exorbitant costs of childcare. But many who live here in this borough say the city's exclusion of Staten Island in the initial rollout of the program is just wrong.
I think it's a great opportunity for, to give people an option so they don't have to pay for it.
Parents like Kim can't help but praise the potential benefits of the 2K early childhood education program Mayor Zoran Mamdani rolled out to New Yorkers this week. What she and others say they can't applaud is the exclusion of Staten Island from getting a share of the seats made available in the program's initial phase.
It's unfortunate if that's the way it's going, but Staten Island is always the forgotten borough.
Well, I think it's not fair because we all pay the same taxes.
Yeah, so while New York usually hangs right at the top, ranking second highest when it comes to overall tax burden for residents, where households paying somewhere around 36% more than the national average. The only state worse? Yeah, Illinois. Yeah, Mamdani's created a childcare program that will only cost New York taxpayers even more money.
The program, a collaboration between the city and state, will offer free childcare to as many as 2,000 2-year-olds. Officials say they looked at demand, access gaps, provider readiness, and economic need to determine the communities in Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens where the initial allotment of seats will first roll out. None in Staten Island. A decision Borough President Vito Fossella says overlooks the hardworking families who also need and deserve help.
I could probably point to 100 families on Staten Island that could use and need this.
A spokesperson for the New York City Department of Education tells News 4 in a statement, quote, Staten Island is an important part of our vision for 2K and will continue to work closely with local providers and leaders and our city partners to build capacity and roll out 2K in Staten Island neighborhoods next year.
No call, no heads up, nothing.
Councilman Frank Morano, who represents parts of Staten Island, says he's outraged that the mayor's office never communicated that his home borough would be excluded prior to the rollout. But he says it's not too late to course correct.
The administration should correct it immediately by adding sites here in the first year.
Yeah, and so Councilman Morano says if the city can't disperse those 2,000 seats fairly across all boroughs, then the money to fund that program should be used to fix issues that already exist with other universal child care programs like 3K and pre-K. For now, we're live in Arlington. Charles Watson, News 4 New York.
Yeah, and so while a whole borough of taxpayers are literally on standby, Mamdani is literally inviting illegal migrants to jump the line. He and AOC made a Spanish language ad urging parents, regardless of your immigration status, sign up for free childcare. Check it out.
Hola.
Mi español no es el mejor.
No te preocupes, alcalde. Si su hijo o hija está cumpliendo 3 o 4 años en el 2026, usted puede registrarlos gratis en el programa Kinder 3 o Pre-Kinder de la ciudad de Nueva York. Pero debe registrarse el 27 de febrero, que es la fecha límite. Cualquier padre de la familia de la ciudad de Nueva York, sin importar su ocupación, ingreso o estatus migratorio, es elegible para registrar a sus hijos.
What we are rolling out today is for parents of 2-year-olds in the neighborhoods that we have listed. It covers the neighborhoods that I've said, as well as parts of other neighborhoods that are covered within the school districts the chancellor said. All that is required is that parents live within that school district, no matter the amount of money they make, the occupation they have, their immigration status. So long as they live there, they can apply. The application process will become open sometime in early summer. And then next year, we will be announcing additional neighborhoods and school districts that this will apply to. It will extend beyond these sets of districts. And one thing that I can tell you for certain is that it will also extend into Staten Island.
And so let's just get into this briefly. New York taxpayers will fork over more than $36K per child under Mamdani's free 2K pilot program. I mean, hey, still free though, right? Taxpayers will shell out more than $36,000 per tot for Mayor Zohran Mamdani's free 2K pilot program, roughly $13,000 more than the average cost of private childcare, city officials acknowledged Tuesday, because nothing says free like overpaying for a service that you can get at a better price as long as the state's covering it, right? Governor Kathy Hochul allocated $73 million in state funding for the 2,000-seat pilot launching in the fall, or about $36,000 per tot, as the pair moved toward fulfilling Mamdani's promise of universal childcare for all city kids from 6 weeks to 5 years old. And mind you, this is just the pilot program, 2,000 seats, a lottery system, so it won't cover every kid, and it's already costing $73 million. Let's continue. The state will solely foot the bill that will balloon to $425 million by 2027, when 12,000 2K seats become available across the city, with Hochul saying that funding will come from current tax revenues, but then goes on to say a clear funding plan has not been laid out for future years. But Hochul, who faces re-election in November, said the initiative would be an ongoing priority for her as long as she's in office. The program's price tag is considerably higher, as we mentioned, than what families fork over on average each year to send an 18-month to 2-year-old to child care centers across the 5 boroughs, according to the city's comptroller officer reports, citing 2024 figures. $23,400 on the market rate daycare centers, the report released last year states. And so this is what New Yorkers wanted. They elected the guy who said he would give them free stuff, and now we're seeing what that actually looks like in real time. You know, programs like this, they never start off looking bad or terrible. The problem shows up over time. That's when you start to see things begin to break down eventually. I just don't see how something like this doesn't eventually become too costly. And when that happens, one of two things usually follows. Either the quality of the service goes down, or the number of kids who can actually participate gets limited because the funding can't cover everyone. And that's when the requirements and things of that nature start to show up. And so we'll see. But that's the update and my thoughts. Now let me hear from you. Drop your comment down below. As always, smash that thumbs up button if you do enjoy the video. That's the best way to let me know. And to stay locked in with future videos, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.